Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Live Twins Evil Twins deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one because this deck is really fun to play around with and is just going to be keep getting new support. And there's all sorts of really cool builds with this deck, and I'm really excited to show you guys this deck because it just got new support in the form of Live Twin Lila Treat, which is an awesome card for the deck and helps out the deck so much with so many different plays to be able to just get you a good extender that's in archetype. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we have all those awesome rewards you guys, like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Live Twin Lila Treat. I like to play 2 copies of this. I have played it at 1. I've played it at 3. I feel like 2 is fine because its effect is if you control a Kiss a Kill monster, then you can special summon this card from your hand. And you can only special summon Live Twin Lila Treat once per turn this way. And when either player takes damage from battles involving a Evil Twin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one face a monster opponent controls, and it loses attack equal to the battle damage. Battle damage, and then you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. It's a really good 2-of in my opinion. I like it at 2 because if, for example, your opponent infinite impermanences the normal summon of your Kiss a Kill monster, then you can just special summon this card out and still go in for a play, which is super nice to be able to just get you an extender, which is why I love this card as a 2-of in the deck opposed to playing it at like 1 or none. It's just an overall really good card, and I can't wait for the other version of Kiss a Kill to come out in the next pack. We then play 3 copies of Live Twin Lila. Lila is really good too because her effect is your opponent has to pay 500 attack or 500 life points to attack, and then if this card is normal or special summon and you control no other monsters, then you can special summon a Kiss a Kill monster from your hand or deck, which is really good just to be able to get you an additional monster on your side of the field to go into your link plays of Lila and Kiss a Kill Evil Twin versions. We then play 3 copies of Kiss a Kill. Kiss a Kill is really good because what she does is each time a monster declares an attack, you gain 500 life points, and if this card is normal or special summon, then you can and you control other monsters, then you can special summon a Lila monster from your hand or deck. You can lose your effect once per turn. So she's really good as a 3-of in the deck. You want to play 3 of each original one, and you want to play like 2, at least 1 of the Lila Treat in your deck as well. We then play a single copy of Evil Twins, Kiss a Kill, and Lila. These are really good together because this card is really interesting because it can't be normal summon or set. It must be special summon from your hand by attributing 2 link monsters. And if this card is special summon, then you get to activate the effect of if your opponent controls 3 or more cards, they must send cards to their graveyard so they only control 2 cards on their entire field, which is really good, especially if your opponent already has a crazy board. You can just immediately summon this card, and they either have to negate it or they have to send all the cards they have to the graveyard until they only have 2. And it also has the really cool effect that while you have a Kiss a Kill monster in your graveyard and a Lila monster in the graveyard, this card gains 2200 attack, so it goes up to 44, which is pretty good. We then play 3 copies of Parallel Xyz. Parallel Xyz is really good in the deck too because if you link summon, then you can special summon this card to a zone that link monster is pointing to, and also you can special summon an additional Parallel Xyz from the deck, which is super helpful just to get you additional link material in the deck. I played 2 copies of Backup Secretary. I've been debating dropping this down to 1. Because I kind of want to play a little bit more of a hand trap, more hand traps in the deck. I know that's kind of crazy, but this deck is really good at having hand traps in it, and this deck is just overall amazing. And so playing this card, if you control a Cyverse monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only special summon Backup Secretary once per turn. Now, the only monster that's not a actual Cyverse is your copy of the Lila Treat, and she's a zombie because she's based around Halloween, and the other one is based around Christmas, which is an Aqua type. So you kind of have to play around with that a little bit. I'm thinking about maybe dropping her in the future for the 2 copies of the Kiss a Kill Christmas version, which is just an idea for you guys. We then play for the hand traps. We're playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is really good in the deck too because she just stops your opponent from all sorts of shenanigans, and 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is just overall a really good hand trap just to stop your opponent from all sorts of stuff on the field. And it's just an overall really good card in the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Monster Reborn because Monster Reborn is a great extender in this deck, and it's just an overall really good card to help you get all sorts of crazy plays. A single copy of Called by the Grave just to stop your opponent's shenanigans against you. It's just an overall really, really good card. 1 copy of Pot of Avarice just to recycle your link monsters very quickly. 3 copies of Signet Mining because it searches every single one of your live twin monsters outside of your copy of Lilith Treat, and has the ability that you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 level 4 or lower Cyverse monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect. 3 copies of Live Twins Home. This card is really, really good. It's actually funny because they're based on like YouTubers, which is funny that I'm profiling this deck. Like, I really think it's ironic whenever a YouTuber profiles this deck. It's like, oh, cool, you're profiling yourself. So what this card does is you discard a card to special summon 1 Kiss a Kill monster or 1 Lila monster from your deck. Also, for the rest of the turn, this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Evil Twin monsters, which is totally fine because we have stuff like IP Masquerena later on that can get us more plays, but you're basically leaning towards your Lila monsters and your Kiss a Kill monsters in the extra deck anyways. But basically having an E-Telly in the deck is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Secret Password. Secret Password is insanely good in this deck because it has the ability that you get to add a Evil Twin or a Live Twin spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And if you control a Kiss a Kill monster and you control a Lila monster, then you can add 1 Evil Twin monster from your deck to your hand instead of a spell or trap, which is an overall really awesome effect just to be able to get us additional plays in the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 1 each of the traps, which is a single copy of Challenge. Challenge is really good because Challenge, what it does is it lets you target a Kiss a Kill monster or 1 Lila monster in your grave and special summon it. And then you apply the following effects to immediately after the effect resolves. You get to link summon a Evil Twin Link monster using monsters you control as a material. So if you already got 2 other monsters on the field, this basically becomes Monster Reborn or Back to the Front on your side of the field, which is really nice for 1 of your Link monsters or 1 of your Kiss a Kill monsters. So it's a really good effect just to be able to get you monsters on your side of the field and just get you additional plays. And it's searchable, so it's a 1-of. We play a single copy of Present. Present I really like because if you control a Kiss a Kill monster and control a Lila monster, you can activate the effect of targeting 1 Kiss a Kill or 1 Lila monster you control in 1 phase of monster opponent controls, and you switch control of those monsters. And I will mention the extra deck monsters only have 1100 attack, so you can take a really powerful monster away from your opponent, which is really nice, and also lets you target spell or trap your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck, which is also pretty helpful, especially if you like your opponent ends turn and they have a back row that you're kind of nervous of. You can just use this to get rid of it. And then I play 1 copy of Evil Twin GGEZ. I play this strictly for the name. This card is the best named card outside of Totally Awesome, and I absolutely love it. And if you're not playing this in your deck, I don't know what you're doing. This card is hilarious in the name, and what it does is you contribute a Kiss a Kill monster or a Lila monster, then activate 1 of the following effects. Either target a Kiss a Kill or a Lila monster you control, and it gains attack equal to original attack of the attributed monster, or when a card or effect is activated that would destroy cards on the field, you can negate that effect, which is a really good effect just to be able to negate like your opponent's cards that are going to destroy your field. So this card is really good outside of just being a really funny name of GGEZ. I love this card so much. It's one of the reasons I actually picked the deck up. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is just an overall really good trap in the deck to be able to just use as a hand trap against your opponent, just to negate stuff. And then triple Solemn Judgment as well. Solemn Judgment is overall awesome in this deck because Solemn Judgment can just negate anything, which is awesome, and at the cost of half your life points. So you're basically playing the 3 Effect Veilers, the 3 Infinite Impermanence, the 2 Effect Veilers, 3 Ash, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and then Solemn Judgment as well. So you have a bunch of hand trap negates, and you have the Solemn Judgments as well. So you have plenty of ways to stop your opponent. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're just going to be playing 2 copies of Lila. You just need 2 copies of Lila. You don't need 3. It's not necessary. But what she does is basically, that if this card is special summon and you control a Kiss a Kill monster, then you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. And then during the main phase, if you do not control a Kiss a Kill monster, then you can special summon 1 Kiss a Kill monster from your graveyard, and also you cannot special summon monsters for your extra deck this turn except for Fiend monsters, and you can only effect this card once per turn. This card is really good in the deck to be able to just stop your opponent from all sorts of shenanigans by popping cards on their side of the field, and it's just an overall really, really good card. Like, I really like playing this card as a 2-of in the deck, and you really don't need any more than that. We then play 3 copies of Kiss a Kill. Kiss a Kill is really good too because what she does is she's the main one that you want to summon first because she has the ability if this card is special summon and control a Lilla monster, then you get to draw one card. And then during the main phase, if you do not control Lilla, then you can quick effect special summon one Lilla monster from your graveyard. And also you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except for Fiend monsters, which is totally fine because we have plenty of Fiend monsters in the extra deck to be able to go into. And it's just an overall really good card to be able to just summon her first and then have Lilla in the graveyard and then be able to revive her during your opponent's turn and pop a card, which is pretty cool. Just to get you an additional pop or pop card during your turn, excuse me, and be able to just instantly get a pop on the field. I then play one of the new Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. She is ridiculous in this deck. I have to say, she is probably one of the most ridiculous cards in this entire deck because you can also use one monster that your opponent controls as a link material. So if you have both of these on the field at the same time, you can use both of these and an opponent's monster to go into this card. And she is actually a fiend. So you can use her during the same turn that you have both of these on the field to get rid of an opponent's monster. She's basically an extra deck kaiju, and also, if this card is Link Summon, you can negate the effects of all phase-up monsters your opponent currently controls. And the Link Summon of this card cannot be, you can negate the effects of all phase-up monsters currently on the field, and this Link Summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they specifically target this card, and then one per turn, your opponent activates a card or effect that special summons a monster from the graveyard. You can negate the activation as well. So this card literally negates, cold waves the field, and uses an opponent's monster as a material to summon this card, and she has gorgeous artwork. Yes, please. I think I'll take one, please. We then play a single copy of Unchained Abomination. The Unchained Abomination is kind of like the Evil Twins pet. Like, you've got to use this card as a one-of in the deck because it's just really easy to end on this card and be able to get multiple pops against your opponent. If you go first, you summon this. If you go second, you summon the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Like, it just depends on which way you go. I play a single copy of Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin is really good because you can end with a copy of like Kiss a Kill or Lilla pointing to this card, and it has the ability, this card is link summoned. You can discard a card and then target one spell or trap in your graveyard and set that target to your field, but it can't be activated this turn. And if this card is co-linked with the effect activated, you get to draw a card, and you only use the effect of Nightmare Griffin once per turn. And also, special summon monsters on the field cannot activate their effects unless they are linked. So basically, if your opponent goes off, it skill drains your opponent because they're not going to link, because you usually have this in zone 3 and you have one of these in zone 2 or zone 4 pointing to it once you've link summoned at the end board. So basically having this on your side of the field in a copy of either one of them essentially becomes a lockdown play, which is really nice. I play a single copy of Access Code Talker, which I've been debating actually dropping, which is odd for me for Access Code Talker. Like, I absolutely love this card, but there's plays in the deck that you just don't really need it with Underworld Goddess and your copy of Unchained Abomination, Nightmare Griffin. I feel like I'm playing too many Link 4s. I've thought about dropping it for a Nightmare Phoenix because I'm not playing Phoenix in the extra deck. I've really considered dropping it, but I'm not kind of convinced completely yet. But if you want to drop it for Nightmare Phoenix, if you don't have this card, you can. Play a single copy of Unicorn just to give me a bunch of spins on my side of the field. It's really helpful just to spin stuff with your copy of Unicorn. I play a single copy of Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker is really nice because when this card is co-linked, and it's co-link monsters gain 500 attack, and also your opponent cannot target monsters with card effects, any of them with card effects, and then you can target one link 3 or lower Cyverse monster in your graveyard, and then special summon it to zone this card points to, and you can have special summon monsters during you activate this effect except for Cyverse monsters, which is why I haven't dropped the Access Code Talker yet, because I feel like you have the Fiend side and you have the Cyverse side, so I'm kind of leaning towards keeping it over the copy of Phoenix. We have a single copy of Splash Magician. It lets you target a Cyverse monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. We can negate its effects, and also you cannot special summon monsters for its turn except for Cyverse, which you climb into your copy of Access Code. One copy of Masquerena because you can spin, or you can go into a copy of Unicorn during your opponent's turn, or the cool play is to actually use multiple cards on your side of the field to go into like additional plays with like going into IP into Access Code, which is kind of neat. But the only downside to Underworld Goddess in this deck is you have to use 4 monsters to go into it, which is the only downside to this card, because you have to use one of your opponents and then 2 on your, or 3 on your side of the field, which is the only downside I've found to that playing that card. Sometimes I'll end with like a copy of this and then 2 of my other live twin monsters, and then I'll have an opponent's monster, so I get a link 2, and then each one of my monsters counts as a link 1, so it's 1, 2, or 2, 4 on my field, and then I'll use one of my opponent's monsters to get into this card. So it's really nice actually to go into that card, but it's a little bit expensive sometimes. We play a single copy of Link Disciple and Link Devotee because these cards are really good with Cyverse cards. So you play these cards at 1 each, and they help especially if your copy of your Lilla or or your copy of your Kiss a Kill and it gets negated on your side of the field upon normal summon. So that's pretty much it for the deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, because it is a fun deck to play with, and I highly recommend that if you guys have not picked this deck up, you definitely should soon, because when the new Link monster, or not the new Link monster, but the new copy of the other Kiss a Kill monster comes out for the main deck, I feel like this deck is going to get expensive, and so if you haven't picked the deck up, you probably should do it soon, because it is really fun, and later on you're actually going to be able to make Totally Awesome in this deck, and it's going to be crazy once the new monster comes out. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.